Hello, folks. Hope everybody's doing okay. Apologies for running a little bit late. I've just been doing a lot of research. Been doing a lot of just self-discovery research in the current state of collecting, and I wanted to make sure that I had everything that I wanted to present to you, wonderful folks out there tonight. And I'm going to do my best not to. I'm not here to scold. This is. I feel like this is going to be a lesson, right? I'm gonna give me one second here. That camera. I'm gonna hold a class, and we're kind of gonna go through the situation of collecting right now, and it has me concerned. I will confess, I'm a little bit semi concerned with what's happening. Uh, I'm kind of. I'm gonna wag my finger at Hot Toys. I feel like it's only fair. I've been going above and beyond wagging my finger at InArt. So at how they've been announcing their pre-orders and how it they've just been botching things up. They're what, up to 16, 14 pre-orders, and they barely had the success of two. Still working on the third, which I believe it's a Robert Pattinson announcement. So this is this evening run. I've titled it. It's going to be the artisan effect and how it affects us, how we're navigating. Are we easily wooed by something shiny that's being dangled in front of us? That's what we're going to talk about here, right? And I also feel that history is going to somewhat punish most of this community by the holidays. And I kind of wanted to kind of timestamp this specific evening run to kind of say, I told you so. But this is one of those situations where I'm hoping I'm wrong. I look, folks, I hope I'm wrong as to what I'm going to share my opinions with how Hot Toys is managing their current artisan line. I'm hoping I'm wrong. But if I'm not, right, you can call me out, right? But if I'm not, I'm going to wag some I'm going to say, "Hey, I told you so." I told you so. Let's see who's checking in. Here we go. Here we go. CN. Here we go. Evening run with Denobi. Couldn't ask for more. Hello, CN. Thanks for joining in. Boy, did I. Hello, everybody. Hello, Paul, for joining in. Thank you. Deafy Dome too. Boy, I need this for a long day. Classes in session. Yeah, that's what it's going to feel like. It's going to feel like I'm going to be hosting the class. And I get it, right? It's been, the May the 4th it's been overwhelming, right? That second part, the sequel, it was not overwhelming for me. In fact, I didn't even want to cover it. I covered the first part, thought it was very exciting, fireworks galore. But the second wave of announcements with Darth Maul, the Shadow Trooper, and Dark Empire Luke, I didn't. I'm like, oh, this is boring. I'm gonna fall asleep if I cover this. But we're gonna talk about that, right? Hello, checking in. Hello, Texas boy. Texas Boy 210. Yo, what up, D? Checking in from Central Texas. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Thank you. Patton 23. Hello. Hello, everybody. Checking in from Maryland. Quan Harper. Thank you for joining. And 1-6 Enthusiast. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. I've also had a big package day, too. Had a lot of stuff being delivered. KG Hobby finally delivered their promise to me. So, KG Hobby, right? Got to play fair. KG Hobby did deliver their Andrew Garfield. That was taking them for so long. So KG Hobby did deliver on that. Samuel Shin, hello, sir. Preach, Denobi, preach. I'm going to do my best not to scold, but we're going to talk about that. Brick Artemis, what's up, sir? Bat Dad checking in from Florida, 9:30 p.m. So this live stream is going to be solo and it shouldn't take more than an hour and a half. So, and it's going to be about the artisan effect. I'm very 100% concerned about the artisan effect. Hot Toys is aggressively announcing these artisan figures in such a short amount of time span, and I feel it's not giving the collectors enough time to breathe. For the fact that we're up to 6, right? We're up to 6 artisan announcements, and we have yet to have an actual artisan figures in our hand figure, right? Which is the first one was the Joker in our hands for us to pose, play with, critique, criticize. But they're still announcing them. And when I'm working and I'm doing something, I do listen to the community on YouTube because I like to see how their minds work. I like to see what goes through their head. And it's just been overwhelming hoopla excitement. I mean, this is almost as bad as what it was back in the day, where, I mean, we're talking like YouTubers panels, essentially, again, right? History is repeating itself. YouTubers are essentially given the key to the city. They're just, wow, this is fantastic. This is just mind blowing fantastic. And it's easy to critique, it's easy to share your opinion, right? It's easy to earn that opinion card when all you have to do is buy your way into an official opinion with a pre order of 10%. 10% is all it takes, right? I pre-ordered it, so now I'm the expert, and you're going to listen to me because I think this is the cat's meow. This is a work of art, etc., etc. Uh, I don't care about that. What I'm more concerned about are or the actual tap dance when these invoices start to ship. Who's going to be around? Because I'm telling you, I'm very observant, and it's easy for someone to pre-order, and then the minute the invoices come out, the community bitches about what the head sculpt. They complain about the paint application. They complain something so trivial enough to legitimize an official escape clause, right? That's what they're doing. They're building an escape clause. I've been preaching for the last year or so, exercise extreme caution when it comes to pre-ordering so that you don't run into the risk of a financial collapse where you're forced to tap out, where you're forced to essentially, you're so overstressed that you're like, you know what, I'm going back to Marvel Legends, we're going back. And we're kind of back to that again. It kind of feels that the ingredients for that, it's starting to brew again. And it's just like, doesn't anybody see this? Doesn't anybody see the actual red flags? Doesn't anybody else see the I can't not be the only one that actually sees the red flags, right? Hot Toys has taken a lesson from the In-Art Playbook, lesson 102, fundraise, right? Keep wooing and dazzling them with a fantastic mystical wizarding product of an artisan figure that this figure is gonna, once it enters your home or your collection, it's just going to enlighten you. And no, look, I defend Hot Toys for the most part, but for this situation here, Hot Toys, I'm 100% quite concerned. I really am. You're up to six figures, essentially fundraising, and you haven't released shit yet. Not only that, though, but China, the manufacturing hub mecca in China, and apologies if I butcher the city name, Guangdong, China. It's one of the it's one of the big cities that manufactures a lot of the schlock that the rest of the world, we buy. And they suffered a really catastrophic flood a few weeks ago that essentially has created a lot of problems. If you follow the news over there, highways have collapsed, people are swimming out their front doors. It's awful. It's awful. Now, because we've now been exposed to manufacturing delays from this specific city in China, it essentially could have created a ripple effect. Could this Plus, this disaster that's happened over there coincides with the Hot Toys cancellations of the Iron Man that was canceled, and then the Flash. So whether or not that was coincided or a coincidence, I don't know. Probably, my logic is that those two had such low pre-orders that they just Hot Toys couldn't justify it. But probably with the manufacturing with the delays, it probably was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Hello, Ken Carpenter. There you go, Ken Carpenter. Seen you in a while. Yes, I can see the red flags too. Stopped pre-ordering for a while now. Not only that though, but because there's now been so many delays, and most. I was listening to. Oh goodness, I um, listening to Jedi Knight's Watch stream, where the panel there they were sharing a lot of their sideshow delays. That's a red flag, folks. If your pre-orders, if you have more than 5 delays on your existing pre-orders through Sideshow and Hot Toys, that's a dangerous red flag. Especially since a lot of these delays are being pushed to the most dangerous part of the year, which is the holiday season. And the holidays, I've learned, tends to change people. Holidays, your priorities tend to kind of flip. It's easy to kind of click the pre-order button now for $40, bitch all you want, and then come Christmas, well, the kids needed a bike, or the car broke down or something, right? You just don't want to put yourself into that situation. Not only that though, but the situation is also putting Sideshow in some trouble, because I'm not sure if they're allowing pre-order cancellations with the non-refundable deposits back. Although I keep getting mixed information. I was told that if Sideshow sends out an alert that a pre-order has been delayed by an additional 6 months, that you're somewhat allowed to cancel it and collect your NRD. Now, keep in mind though, if that escape clause is legit and it does exist, what could potentially happen is that we can end up with the second wave of dead stock. All those dead figures that we have on Hot Toys have been there since 2022. That could potentially happen. That 100% could potentially happen, where you end up with just a large amount. But I will play devil's advocate. Sideshow has been aggressively cutting off their pre-order batches very short, and it's more of a smaller batch scenario. Draw the line. I make sure my stuff is paid off by the time it's supposed to be released. No surprises, and I'm ready for whatever. Look, that is good advice. I just don't like my money sitting in someone else's account for more than a year, especially for 2 years. No, I don't like that. I'm perfectly comfortable. I can manage my existing Google spreadsheet with the 10% pre-order. That I can manage. But I get it. Some folks are like, I like to pay it all off and let it sit there for a couple of years. No, because the evidence is showing that we're kind of heading into that again with longer delays. Because Hot Toys was on top, man. They were just packing, they were just delivering between 10 and 13 months, and now because of the situation in China, they could potentially run into that scenario again, into delays. And it's dangerous for us, because when you start to sandbag pre-orders, what's going to happen, right? When you have 6 or 7 pre-orders that have been pushed out to the end of the year, and all those invoices start coming in, are you capable of handling? I don't like that. That's why I keep my pre-orders very small. I don't like the stress, and I also don't like just a big amount of merch coming in and then it sits in a corner of the room because I've just been so busy and I can't get to. I hate that crap too. I really do. So it's so friggin' peculiar. I need my money to invest my money in HasLabs to make money. Hey, I'm with that too. And you know what? We're going to talk about the HasLab teas at the end of the stream. We're going to talk about that. Let me get something here. All right. 6 magical figures. Now, I will share something. I'll share a secret with you wonderful folks out there. I only have one Hot Toys Artisan pre-order on my Google spreadsheet, and it is the Hot Toys The Joker. This is the only one. And this was my personal escape clause, because I always said that if I could find the in-art Joker at a discounted price, I would buy it. But by the time the in-art the In-Art Joker went discounted. Hot Toys came out with this bad. I'm like, you know what? I trust Hot Toys. I'm just gonna. So I went in ahead and I pre-ordered this. If you're looking at the specs and the information on here, total price is tax and ship based on my state. I live in the state of Nevada. 8.5. This is just, and it's been waitlist. This has been delayed, right? Current status, so you could pre-order this now, and it's supposed to be due between July and December of 2024. That's a giant window. That's a giant release window. Anything, I mean, that's a 6-month open window right there, folks. Anything could happen. More Artisan drops can happen. And if you've painted yourself into this situation, because this NRD here, this is $52. This is 10%. I'm not in the business of throwing money away. No. So you also need to take into consideration the final product. I don't know about you, but I'm not happy with what I'm seeing with Hot Toys lately. Yeah, they've been running into some situations where they're, especially with the whole Tobey Maguire head situation, I didn't have an issue with that. But although I'm different, because I never planned on displaying Tobey Maguire with that head sculpt, was it the best? No, it was not. Was it the end of the world? No, because out of every 20 winners from Hot Toys, there's always a dud. Clearly, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was the dud in that specific batch. So I need to do a slideshow on this one. Let me see if I can do this right here. The next one, Anakin Skywalker, the Artisan Edition, sideshow price. And here's a little fun fact, for you wonderful folks out there. The most expensive one is the first one. It was the Artisan Joker at a sticker price of $520, at $580, it's $600. You know, it makes you wonder. I tell you what, you know, I hated hearing the people in the YouTube community, oh, you know, competition from NR. This is what competition got us. Screwed in the butt with high-end figures. I was perfectly fine with the mid-level tier figures as a collector, right, in my room. Now, because of chaos and the community welcoming a high-end product like NR, this is the side effect. Very interesting that all the Artisan releases have a non-rooted option, except for Anakin. Really weird business move, but I guess their business move never made sense. Well, it's probably because the light side Anakin was probably pretty decent, and they've already done a sculpted version of Anakin, which is, I have that on display, right? That's the dark side Anakin with the sculpted hair that's on the droid. But I understand your point that these newer Artisans have a new version and the rooted version. Anakin already had the dark side sculpted hair, and if they were going to I feel they were going to go down this path, it just makes sense to just go rooted all the way. An affordable price, though, compared to the Joker, they're at $415, total price at $470. Again, the only one I was able to pre-order, I have on my official pre-order list, is the Joker. This guy is slated between July and December of this year. Again, a giant open window of concern. A giant open window of concern. Next one is the Scarlet Witch. And I tried to get the Scarlet Witch. I really did. I missed out on her. She just sold out too quick. But I'm not worried, though. I did not settle for the sculpted version of Scarlet Witch. I feel that the Joker, once he arrives and once these things start to ship, it's a different story to pre-order. It's also a different story on the commitment. And I'm on the wait list for all of these. And I kind of feel confident that I'm going to be able to score all of these Artisans through Sideshow. No leather. And I don't know if it has real leather or not, but does it even matter? Because apparently with the Artisan effect, the only thing that folks really care about is the sculpted hair. It's that lifelike realism, which again, we don't even know. This is what they're showing to us, right? But we don't have this in hand yet. Artisan one that makes the most sense. Again, for everyone that they're picking, I mean, they all could benefit from a high-end appeal. But again, that could be said from just about any Hot Toys popular character that could benefit from this type of treatment. $445. Wait, she's waitlist. Total price, if I, for again, the tax is based on my state, and it's a lot. If you had all of these artisans on pre-order, you'd be looking at just a little over 3,000. Looking at the math there. The next one, this one here, I didn't even try because I wasn't even near a computer. I think I was hiking or I was chasing a solar eclipse. I know when the Jack Sparrow dropped, I was not able to. I was not able to even get near it. If I have to resort to the secondary market on this one, maybe, but I already have Jack Sparrow on Stranger Tides, and I think I'm okay. But if the opportunity is presented to me and the waitlist is converted, I definitely would pick up this guy. The Anakin release will determine if I'll continue down the Hot Toys Artisan line or not. I have the Artisan Jack Sparrow on pre-order that I'll cancel and scrub to this, and that seems to be the consensus. Draw the line where a lot of Hot Toy collectors who are sitting heavy on all of these pre-orders are just waiting for the Joker, the Artisan Joker, and that's going to be their decision on moving forward. That's why I kind of feel somewhat confident that I'll be able to score some of these, even though the only one I have on pre-order is the Joker. At $495, I mean $558, folks. This is, and then the release date. It's, you know what kills me is these release dates. They're just way too open. I don't like them. I don't like how big and open these release dates are. Beautiful figure, right? I mean, if you want me to judge off the prototype photos, sure, it looks fantastic. It really, really does. Luke Skywalker Dark Empire was one I didn't even care for. I didn't even try. This is also the one total ship price. Oh, it's $4. I didn't finish the information. That should have been $480. That would have been like 480 something, but I didn't. Clearly, I made an error on that. This is the one that I'm going to pause it the right here for a second. This is one that I didn't even care for, and it blew me away. This is where I truly saw the real artisan effect. Like, really, you add the word in, you add some rooted hair, and the community is just doing backflips and waking the president up based on a character that hasn't been in the zeitgeist for over 30 years. This is something that was introduced. This character was introduced in the early 90s through comic books. And this is during the Star Wars dark times where nobody was just, it was only a small group of loyalists that even kept this alive. So this was such a big, huge leap of faith on Hot Toys to take on just an obscure character. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Why would I get this? This doesn't, I don't know who this character is. You can't keep, you have to know when to draw the line. This is definitely a character here that you have to draw a line. And then just seeing the fever, the fever of chasing that specific one down just was mind blowing, right? Just, no, it doesn't make any, I mean, essentially, really, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand the logic on this one. This is the one that bothers me. Oh, no, but you have to get Luke Skywalker. But I'm like, this is a character that hasn't even been in the mind's eye since the early 90s. I mean, who was President Bush? This is mind blowing. But yet, collectors are willing to fork up $500 on Ken style hair, right? Just, it's mind blowing. This one I have no interest. I don't care for this. This is just, if anything, I'd rather chase the actual deep fake Luke from The Mandalorian season 2. But again, I have three Luke Sky. I don't need. I have three Luke Skywalkers in my collection, folks. I have the Snowspeeder Luke. I have Return of the Jedi Luke, and then I have Bespin Luke. I think I'm okay. I think I'll survive. I'd rather expand my collection to other non-obscure IPs like Avatar or Predator or something else like that. But to get wet over this is just no, no. It doesn't make any sense. No. Uh, and then the next one here is God Loki, which again it's waitlisted for 45. And this is the one that, even though it went in a wait list and people were just excited to get, it was also the one that it also had the most, well, I guess the most controversy, but not a lot. Where like, oh, I didn't care for season 2 of Loki. Um, I didn't finish. I love Loki as a character. I did not finish season 2 of Loki. I didn't. I got into the third or fourth episode and I got bored. It was complicated. It was bad writing. I'm like, nope. It was a tap out on me. I'm done. So to see this and like, what? Why? Why would you do a like? If anything, I would have preferred to have seen an Artisan Loki off of the Avengers, off of the original MCU Avengers 2012. To me, that would have been fantastic, right? It would have been mind blowing. But yet, comments I've read, friends I know, are pumping the brakes on this guy. This is the one that they're going to say, no, Denobi, I'm not going to get God Loki. Even though he's a very popular character, very popular, even though the Loki 2 was controversial, season 2 of Loki was controversial, it still had good Nielsen ratings on it, right? It still had better ratings than Ahsoka. He's still popular. He's still in the zeitgeist. But yet we're going to pump the brakes on Hot Toys God Loki, but yet everybody was just losing their minds over Dark Empire Luke Skywalker that hasn't had anything done in over 30 years. It's just, that's hence where I'm kind of going with the Artisan effect, is this excitement that's being shared throughout the community. Is this legit, or is this short-term gains? This is just, look, we're excited at the time, and then, hey, Denobi, we're just excited at the time, and then when the stuff finally starts to invoice and ship, we're going to come up with some bullshit excuse, and we're going to go pre-order something else. I don't know. I don't see it. It's, hear the music here. It's perplexing. That it really is. It really is. An Artisan Winter Soldier will wait less than a minute. Look, I don't disagree with you on that. There's just a ton of characters right now. I mean, that could be said with anything. Well, if they announced Thor, that can be waitlisted. Or if they announced Princess Leia, or just any character, Black Widow, if anything could use is, I mean, so I'm just curious at this, like having this type of rooted complexity on a high-end figure, this is a lot of work. I speak from experience. I mean, I've been posing and dealing with TB League Fison figures for quite a while, and their hair is a lot of work. Is it going to be the same quality? Well, we don't know. We don't know what the quality is going to be on this Artisan line. We just know that it's a labor-intensive process to get this type of realism, and then is it going to transfer to positive results within the community? And this community loves to churn and burn. Boy, my God, if there's ever a community, like I don't think Lego has this type of churn and burn, meaning that someone will buy something and then 30 days later, it's like on a buy sell trade group. Yeah, I've seen like Hot Toys is pretty. Hot Toys community is very aggressive when it comes to a churn and burn. Give us Batman Returns 5 for Cat with a nod. She's been done so many times. Characters like that, I always feel like it's moving backwards. It just does. And again, that's just for me. Just because there's just so much opportunity for, especially Batman. You guys know, look, I love Batman, but Batman is the most heavily saturated IP. My God, there is just, I mean, you think Iron Man is bad. Batman, to me, in my book, takes it to the next level. Batman is just, there's just too many. You have Robert Pattinson Batman, you have Val Kilmer, Christian Bale, you have Ben Affleck. Hot Toys has just decided to restart the printers back up for Ben Affleck Batman. Got 2.0 armored Batman. You have the regular suited. There's two brand new pre-orders for Ben Affleck Batman. Just when I thought I was moving away from the Justice League, Hot Toys decides to go back and dabble in with Ben Affleck. Like most of us were slowly breaking away, but we were breaking up that relationship with Ben Affleck, and now they're bringing it back. Like, what the hell, Hot Toys? What the hell? But I get it. There are folks out there, kudos for you folks out there that you see it as a second opportunity, a second chance to add that specific character. For me, unfortunately, as a veteran, it feels like I'm moving backwards. It just does. No, not necessarily. Batman is not the only DC. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean DC? Then yes. Then yes. Probably Superman comes in. But yeah, in the world of DC, it's probably Batman. And in the world of Marvel right now, it's going to be Iron Man and Spider Man, the two biggest money makers right there. So, yeah, does that mean we're going to get an artisan version of I mean, really? I mean, of Robert Pattinson, maybe? Or no, this is a lot. This is a lot. This is really, it's very frustrating because I've had a couple of my pre-orders get pushed out to the end of the year. And it's hard for me to add something new without having the stuff that I pre-ordered over a year ago arrive. I have to. I have to follow my own rules. I have to follow restrictions, right? I don't want to stress myself out. I want to have fun with my collection. I want to enjoy what I'm building, right? And I understand that Hot Toys has done their best. They're doing their best to for their shipments to arrive on time. But these aren't Marvel Legends. These aren't Black Series figures. These are high-end products, and it's really challenging to manage that when you have a release window of 6 months, and then heaven forbid, if it doesn't meet that 6-month window, it gets delayed another 6 months. It's my understanding that some of you out there are still waiting for your pre-order for the Return of the Jedi C-3PO. And some of you have gotten notifications on your Return of the Jedi C-3PO has been pushed out to the end of the year. Folks, that's bonkers. That's wild. Like, that's right there is a red flag. If Hot Toys can't keep up with some of their figure releases that have been released early in the year and they're just falling behind on their production, folks, that's a red flag. That is a huge red flag right there. Big is. The other thing too that seems to be pissing people off, and I will probably join in on that, is the whole shock drops, right? What does that mean? Hot Toys, Artisan, shock drops are everyone for collectors or clever marketing. What that means is that they'll announce an Artisan figure their time, right? They're on. So if you're in the Pacific time zone, you'll get, if you're lucky, you'll get the announcement. Hey, there's a pre-order. Hot Toys just announced a pre-order for God Loki at 10 p.m. And then in under a 12-hour period, Sideshow is holding a Carney lottery event the following morning, East Coast time. And if you're not up to par, if you're not on their network, on their social network, or if you don't have a buddy to notify you or anything, well, you're shit out of luck. You're gonna fucking miss out. Sucks to be you, right? They just, another shock drop. Stop what you're doing if you're working, right? Pull over to the side of the road, get on lunch, get on the queue system, right? It's a limited batch, right? You better get in line. You're gonna get screwed if you don't get the artisan figure, even though we don't have an artisan figure in hand. But it's important, right? You got to get there first. Yeah, it takes a lot of it takes a lot of strength and probably courage just to avoid that. I just like, no, this is dangerous, folks. That's how you get yourself in trouble. All right. Now, for some of you out there that have the free time in the daytime to accommodate these unscheduled shock drops and these pre-orders from Sideshow and can afford it, hey, more power to you, right? If you can swing it, right, there's nothing wrong with that. Most collectors aren't so lucky, aren't so privileged. I've been doing this for such a long time, and I've seen people come and go. It's very stressing. I mean, what? We're going to be convincing ourselves at the end of the year, less is more. We're going to start gaslighting ourselves. Oh, I only have 6 figures now, and I feel it fills my collection even better, right? Or worse, you have your competitors, right, who are playing silly political mind games with influencer batches, right? I mean, this person's better than you. This person's better than you, right? So, no, like that's retarded, by the way. That's just stupid. Influencer badges. Who does that? Who does that crap? Yeah, I mean, like I said, look, draw the line. If you're privileged for that, cool. Sometimes, for me, I can maybe, but like the few times I've tried to get out on this queue, it's wild. It just is. I didn't care for the Dark Empire, and I didn't care for God Loki. I don't even know who he was. People were like, "Oh, isn't this cool?" Uh, who? Who's that? I didn't see the show. I saw a few episodes. I know it's Loki. I know it's Tom Hiddleston. Um, you know what's bonkers too is that Tom Hiddleston wears a wig for the role. We're going gaga and bananas for his performance as Loki, as he's wearing a wig. And that wig that Tom Hiddleston is wearing as Loki is what we're in love with for that artisan effect. Tell me that's not wild. Tell me that's not wild, folks. Tell me that's not wild. A pro tip. That's clever. Limited batches are great for Sideshow. They can collect 2,500 NRDs in 15 minutes, and they don't have to worry about the dead stock. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Unless someone throws a wrench in the cogs. But yeah, Clone Trooper, as long as the cogs and the wheels are spinning nice and clean, theoretically, that's how it should work. But if you're constantly throwing these little baby wrenches of delays, and you have some collectors that, 5 of my delays have been pushed out till October. What do you mean 5 of your pre-orders on top of your existing pre-orders? And this is going to happen when, it's got pushed out till October or November. That's danger. That's the holidays. That's like the worst time to delay something, push something out. So I'm just sharing my concern that we're going to run into some dead stock. Look, I get it. There's going to be there's some wait list, but I'm very skeptical if a lot of these pre-orders are going to be fulfilled once that invoice, right? Our collector is going to fulfill the invoice, or when the check is brought to the table, Are they gonna say, "You know what? That rooted hair isn't up to my standards. Wasn't up to my standards. So I'm gonna cancel." Let's hope that the artisans aren't delayed too dramatically that it creates an escape clause, right? A legitimate escape clause. Because let's not forget the these pre-orders, the number one being uh, the Joker. Joker's the most expensive one. The Joker comes in at almost 600 bucks, and he's gonna arrive sometime between what, July and December? I shit you not, I'll bet you this fucker's gonna show up around Christmas just to piss me off. And I'm gonna fulfill it. I remember, I only have one pre-order, and it's the Joker, because I'm not gonna cancel it and lose my 52 bucks. No, I'm not. Again, I'm here to manage my collection. I'm not here to throw away deposits, and I know that seems to be the common, right? When collectors are just swamped or painted into a corner, it tends to happen. But yeah, at this point in time, Hot Toys can just cancel anything that doesn't meet their quota, even on production. They made that very clear weeks ago with the Flash. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're right. This is an evolved state of the company, and I encourage it. I encourage it 100%, because if you're not a company that doesn't stay relevant, doesn't adapt, is not innovative, and doesn't meet the customer's needs, then you end up pruned out like Sears or Kodak. You really have to adapt. So it doesn't bother me that if a certain pre-order gets canceled and just gets, that to me has, it doesn't bother me. It just tells me that if you're taking something off the queue, it means that the next pre-order figures on the queue accelerate and move up. We have several figures available for both regular and art. And see, this is the thing too. My 2 SKUs, the shit sits, hasn't let me down yet. If there's 2 SKUs, the shit will sit. One of those specific SKUs will sit. And I hate that. I really do. If there's one thing I really hate, is that they made alternate versions of these characters. Like with the Hot Toys Artisan Joker, it should have just been Artisan. Why create this? And I get it. Well, it's an affordable price point. Yeah, but you've already done the sculpted version of the Joker as an affordable version, and you're creating a new line. For me, if I was on the board, if I was on an imaginary board of Hot Toys, I would have just done one SKU. Multiple SKUs, shit sits. One of these SKUs is going to get the short end of the stick. And some collectors, when they want that specific character, they will, if they have the Artisan on pre-order, come on now, we all know that the one collector that's managing their collection and are just pushed financially aren't going to cancel the Artisan and switch it to the sculpted. Or worse, the Hot Toys Artisan Joker comes in, and it's a big disappointment, and people just start switching their pre-orders. I mean, anything is possible right now. It's wild. 6 Artisans now, and I'm guessing 12 by the end of the year. I would. I don't know what's up, Mr. Mom Collectibles. I would say a few more. I would say at least 2 or 3. I don't know about the 12. I know he's exaggerating, but I would say anticipate more Artisan announcements down the road. Oh yeah, because clearly Hot Toys doesn't need to release a product to get the community excited. So keep pumping them out. That's InArt's taking a lesson from the InArt's playbook. Just keep pumping them out. Mondo does timed release. Oh, I love timed releases. I'm a big fan of the Mondo timed releases. 2 weeks usually, but they aren't free from playing the FOMO game. The new vehicle for the, yeah, I'm gonna pass on that Sky Sled. You're talking about that He-Man Sky Sled. It looks hokey. So to me, it's an easy pass. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like nope. I'm a big fan of timed. The other thing too with Mondo is that they collect full payment. So the collectors who pre-order Mondo are legit, right? If you pre-order a Mondo figure, you're serious about your commitment to that purchase. Unlike Hot Toys, you can buy your opinion in for a non-refundable deposit, and then at the end of the year, when you're swamped, you can cancel and you can make up some bullshit excuse that the hair doesn't look right or something. So, uh next chapter was only accepted from the breeder during the eclipse for 2 minutes. You got that right. It's bonkers. I'm telling you that you have less than 12 hours to assemble a team to acquire an artisan. It's it's, it's wild. I mean, it's like they'll announce it at night, and then all right, you better stay informed. You better be on Twitter X or Facebook because Sideshow's going to launch it out pretty quick and get in line. 5,000 people, and that's the other thing too is that these queues are so overwhelming that the collector the collector doesn't like when you get into this queue and you're waiting in line, something like that FOMO thing happens where you're like, am I going to get it? Am I going to get it? Not kind of thinking about if you should, right?
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
That's it, right? It's like you were just excited. You were happy that you were picked, and then realizing, like, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right choice? Like adding that to my pre-order. And man, oh man, there's like 5 on my pre-order list that have just been delayed. How could I knowingly add? I can't. It's dangerous. It's danger waters to add more to my because I'm like at 32 right now. And I've always said, keep my pre-order list under 30 units. And I'm at 32 right now. It's a recipe for disaster. It really is. And I'm not in the business of throwing deposits. Maybe some of you are. Maybe you're like, Denobi, I'm up to 50 or 60 or whatever. And if I can't deal with it, I just cancel it. I've seen that. I've heard people say that, and I've read it. That's not how you manage a collection. Well, if I can't swing it this month, I'll just cancel it. Throwing deposits away. It's bonkers that type of mentality in the community is still happening. That is the recipe to tap out. That's to the point that this collection, this world, isn't for you. It's not right for you. If you think like that. Thundercats line. That's an easy pass for me. Nope. It's been teased by Mondo. I'm not interested at all in that at all. So easy pass for me. That's the consensus that the Artisan Joker release flops and the rest of the line. It's a fine wire. I mean, the Joker Artisan is walking a very thin tightrope right now, and it has to perform. It has to perform above and beyond, and if it doesn't, it's going to be very, very concerning. Absolutely, it really is. And then the characters that actually could use an Artisan effect. Right, Chewbacca. Yeah, that's probably one that can, although it'd probably cost a mint. I mean, you think about it, the most expensive artist right now is the Joker, coming in at close to 600. And so to have a Chewbacca, I mean, it's made out of yak hair. Holy smack, huh? Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah. Yep. So this is where we're at right now. Just be careful. A lot of products, a lot of figures have been delayed to the end of the year, and just moving forward. I mean, we're coming into summertime right now. We have Comic-Con. There's going to be new announcements. Yeah, in a few months, folks. I go to San Diego Comic-Con every year. I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con this year, and there's going to be new announcements. Whether or not Sideshow will be there, I haven't seen the floor map yet. I don't know if Sideshow is going to have a presence at Comic-Con, or if they're going to stream from their stockroom again, from their webcam in their stockroom. I don't know. Next to their break break room table. I just, it's awful. It's awful that. Yeah, I'm also disappointed too that we didn't get a vehicle. The Jedi Starfighter, I really thought, I was so adamant that we were going to get that Jedi Starfighter for this May the 4th, but clearly Howard Chan is just not there yet for us. So the economy Hondo line ain't blowing their load pre-order wise. I think Wolverine drops this summer. An economy line in 1/6 scale, I think is very cool. I just haven't been following it because I don't care for the X-Men, especially the animated X-Men. So I'm kind of waiting for the MCU to bring in the X-Men properly. That's going to be still years down the road. The only X-Men I really care about from the Fox world is going to be Hugh Jackman. I'll buy him in the yellow spandex, and then I'll move on. That's it. But I'm not chasing any of these cartoon X-Men from X-Men '97. It's not. No, I'm not watching it. It's just not for me. I know it's doing good. I'm sure it's good. It's just I've never been interested in it. It's just not my cup of tea. They do that. It's a sleight of hand. Well, they'll announce something and then take something out. So yes, they are very familiar with doing that. Yes. Let me gotta get rid of this here. The second wave of May the 4th for Star Wars. So I've done my piece with the Artisan line. The second wave, and because I told you folks out there I was going to cover it on a live stream, and unfortunately it was just dismal for me. And I get it that it was exciting for some of you folks out there, but unfortunately, when I see announcements like this, and I understand they have the little logo up there, the Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. It is it's a second chance. I am a big supporter of second chance. I really honestly am. If you missed out on the first set, the fact that Hot Toys can kind of go back and reissue kind of like an enhanced improvement, right? I myself would never call this a 2.0, but I would definitely call this an updated re-release, because to me, that's what I see here. I see an updated re-release, right? If you folks out there feel that this is a 2.0 in your eyes, more power to you. But for me personally, I don't. And it's not saying that it's a bad set. It's just I have the DX, and me personally, I never had an issue with this set. I remember hearing some of the rumbles in the community and people bitching about that he was too fat or had. I never, in fact, if anything, that when I got the set at retail, I was very overwhelmed. I loved the small vehicle, the amount of accessories that it included, the little probe droid, and so forth. I thought it was one of the rare instances of fair value. And you don't get that all the time with Hot Toys. You don't always get value. But with that DX Darth Maul back in 2018, 2019, when I picked them up, it was good value. I really enjoyed it. I was very, very happy with it. Now, they've made improvements with the tailor and the head sculpt, and I think that's fantastic. If you never had the opportunity to score the original DX Darth Maul, I think this is, and you're a big fan of the character, I 100% encourage you to get this. If you have the existing DX Darth Maul, unfortunately, I don't see enough justification to add this. Unless you're going to sell or you're just happy to have both sets. The way I manage my collection, the earlier versions of said figure always get sold. It's the only time in the last several years I've resorted to selling my Hot Toys. If a 2.0, because uh, Hot Toys has gone through the Iron Man line, they're like, hey, the Mark IV or the Mark III, right? It's like a 2.0, right? The Mark III with the diecast. And I had the original diecast Mark III that was released in 2015. To me, that is justifiable. And what I did with that one, I sold it. There was no reason. Actually, bullshit. I still have that one. But I sold the plastic version of the Mark V, the Mark VI, and the plastic versions, because to me, that doesn't fit into the collection, especially since Hot Toys is introducing high-end diecast 2.0s that are taller, the articulation, the R&D on them is fantastic. So it's the only time right now, as I'm managing my collection, that the original versions, the old, the poor cousin in the room gets sold or potentially gets repurposed. So for this right here, and I saw the excitement in the community. I'm like, for me, it was a big snooze, right? That's just how I felt. But if this major day, man, throw the have yourself an indoor celebration. I think it's great that you were given, because I'll tell you, I'm wishing for second opportunities. I would love to have a 2.0 Winter Soldier from Captain America Winter Soldier. I am a big fan of it, especially when I've seen what they can do, like the 2.0 Mark 1 all die cast. Like, I eat that stuff up. I'm a big fan of it, especially when you see the true potential of what Hot Toys can do within the realm of 2.0. That's worth chasing. And then again, the going off with the Darth Maul here. What else? Another snoozer that was announced on the second wave of the May 4th was the Shadow Trooper. I collected the Shadow Trooper. I had the Shadow Trooper. And this was just another big snooze. I'm like, oh, I have this guy ready. And he's okay. He's an okay character. He's fine. The real excitement is the LED star backdrop, which I wish Hot Toys would just sell separately, because I would buy a set of these, 4 or 5 of them, line them up, and I'd have all of my troopers lined up like this. Maybe, I'm assuming that once this gets released, I'll be able to have the opportunity of parting them out or buying the part separately through eBay or so forth. But the Shadow Trooper, it's a great figure. Look, if you're troop building like I am, this is a great figure. But if you have them already, you're like, oh, another reissue with a diorama. Yay, yay. What's up, Optical? What's going on? I will wait for the speeder to be parted like Boba's throne. You got that right. Yeah, the throne was absolutely parted. Apparently, it took up a lot of real estate in people's display cases, and the throne was was one to really fetch some. But I love sets. I love dioramas, and this was another like snooze fest. The other thing that was announced too was the gold chrome, and I look, I'm over this. I'm done. I have a chrome clone trooper somewhere here. But this is just no, because there's just so much. If we were only sitting on 20 or 30 pre-orders or 50 pre-orders max, then yeah, I'm cool. I'll add this on. But no, folks, we're back up with all of these May the 4th announcements. We're back up to 130 pre-orders. 130 pre-orders. This right here. This is empty calories. This is schlock for me. There's too many of them. No Hot Toys. This is where I have to wag my finger. No, and just seeing the excitement on this, you're like, no, man, no, no. This is like a snack. This is like a baby appetizer. Come on, Hot Toys. Where's the steak and the potatoes? Where's the good shit? Because the first wave of May the 4th, they absolutely loaded us up with steak and potatoes, right? They gave us the Dark Revan and Star Killer, the 000. Oh, by the way, I got my 000 today. Yeah, I'm going to do a video on it. He's going to get USB hacked. I need to figure out how to, I'm going to add light to his electrified hands. And I'm going to create the opportunity to swap out 000's hands. So he'll still have his surgical daggers like Edward Scissorhands, but yet once I pop the hands, it'll be high illuminated with electrical effect. So I'm probably going to do a video on that, show you how to pull that off. Easy money. Yeah, look, Optical, you're absolutely right. I believe in capitalism. Look, I get it, right? This is their bread and butter, right? This is how they make their killing. But the point of this particular segment is that this just doesn't do it. This doesn't do it for me. And just seeing the excitement out there, you're like, what? No, no. And look, I am no stranger to easy repaints, right? Hot Toys loves doing it with the iron suits. And on most occasions, they do grab me, they do sucker me, right? But this right here is just a little bit too on the nose. Hey, because they just came out with this last year in silver. Let's pump out the same clone trooper in gold. And next year it'll be in bronze and then platinum. And like, no, calm the fuck down, Hot Toys. No, slow it down, pump it. Um, it was fun for that silver chrome look, especially too that the first wave of May the 4th, they had announced Chrome Cody, like one over the top repaint shiny figure for a specific for a specific wave announcements was fine. To me, this was overboard. To me, this was jumping the shark. You already announced Cody in silver, right? Now you're doing this. Now you're just being greedy. Now you just don't give a shit. So it's that time window. Like we just got the over the top shiny silver chrome Cody, and you're hitting us again, right? No, no. uh, uh, Going back, I don't even. You can call it a 1.5. You're referring to the Darth Maul. I just don't. 2.0s. Hot Toys will tell you what a 2.0 is. It's a brand. It's a TM, a trademark. They'll tell you, right? Like War Machine, plastic version, and you got the die-cast War Machine, right? The first version from Iron Man 2, that's a 2.0. Cheapo plastic, die-cast, right? Complete brand new R&D. The thing too that sets a 2.0 too, it's all brand new tooling. Like the figure is taller. They're using different composites, they're using different materials, right? It's not only do they slap on the 2.0, I mean, you're getting a completely brand new figure. I mean, the 2.0 War Machine was so perfect. I mean, it made the original one. Ew, what is it? Ew, brother. No, ew, brother. Like it was just like I got rid of it. I sold it. I'm like, I don't want that plastic War Machine from Iron Man 2. Ugh, ugh. Like it to me, it brings the collection down. Once you introduce a die-cast War Machine into my existing Iron Man, no, you got to get rid of the poor cousin. You got to get rid of him. Delays plus on time. Yes, and again, my prediction is that this holiday season is going to be a travesty. It's going to be a nightmare with all of these folks. Return of the Jedi C3PO. Majority of you who have them on pre-order from Sideshow got a notification. If you haven't gotten yours already, that batch, the last batch has been pushed out till November or October. That's wild. Like that right there is a red flag. That's a huge concern. That means Hot Toys is falling behind again. And if they're falling behind on that, what else? Where's my ATRT, my little chicken walker? That's been pushed back. I'm concerned about that. What about the dewback and the trooper? That's been pushed back. Or no? Has it? The dewback and the trooper has not been pushed back, but it's running out of time from what I understand. Yeah. Yeah, it's been running out of time. Reminds me of, and Funko is landfill for me. Funko Pops is landfill, folks. That's all it is. It's landfill. What's up, Local? What's going on? What's going on? Local, I'm trying to warn the community again. The Artisan line, there's some red flags there, and it can get some collectors in trouble, 100%. So this clone Chrome Trooper, another to me in my book. If you were excited for this, I'm excited for you, but for me, like no. And then this right here, the Dark Empire. Like this. Yeah. This a character that hasn't been in the zeitgeist for over this right here is the biggest joke. Um, and I don't want to hear it. Nobody's not a Star Wars. I am 100% a Star Wars fan. This is 100% jumping the shark. I would have been happy with this one if they had announced him as a regular edition with the sculpted hair. But the fact that Hot Toys essentially had the balls to like hold my beer, we're gonna take the Star Wars community for a ride, right? Howard Chan on his 86th floor, overlooking Hong Kong Harbor, right, with his two side chicks naked, smoking a cigar. How do we take advantage of the Star Wars community? Let's do some obscure characters that people have forgotten about. Luke Skywalker. I don't know this fucker. What? No, no, no. I just don't. There's a ton. There's a plethora. Can I use the word plethora? There's a plethora, Count Luke. It's just what it is. I want to suck your wallet. I mean, that's bleh. There are a ton of Star Wars characters that I would bend over backwards. I would wake the president. I would run across America. I would chase the next solar eclipse. And this is not one of them. I was biting my nails for this Phantom Menace announcement May the 4th. Like, please, oh, please, Howard Chan, where are all the droidicas? Where are all the droidicas? Right? That was me. I would have pre-ordered twice. I pre-ordered 2 of the battle droids and the super battle droids when it comes to droids. In fact, if I had the opportunity to have pre-ordered 2 000s from Sideshow, I probably would have. Again, I do love droids. I do love Star Wars droids. Shit, give me TC-14. I would have. But this, or even an Artisan Han Solo, right? This is no, and I'm going against the grain here, and I'm sure some of you love. Look, folks, I love Star Wars. I really do love Star Wars. I really, really do. I just don't like to be. I just don't like to be insulted. It's really not that hard to get my money for Star Wars, but you have to make the characters. I mean, just make the pop. I mean, for crying out loud, the anniversary for Vengeance. There's anniversary dates here. How could you have botched that? I just don't I don't understand. I don't understand. At least Shadows of the Empire, you could have. I mean, look, if you want to go through this Legends line, you could have done Bush, Leia in Bush disguise. She appeared exactly like that in Return of the Jedi and in Shadows of the Empire. It's probably the only expanded universe that I actually religiously followed. Shadows of the Empire. Played the game, the N64 game, and I read the comic books. And you could have done Chewbacca, right? With his little shitty eye patch and all that stuff. There's just you could have done Han Solo, in Carbonite, Shadows of the Empire, where it could have would have connected Empire Strikes Back and Shadows of the Empire. So if you want to go down this Legends line, there's ample opportunity. I just don't think this Count Luke here was best decision. But again, I'm sure out there are gonna not agree with me on that. I am guessing this is the first Artisan of many Lukes to come. Oh God, I hope it's the only one. I never thought collectors were willing to pay almost $500 for Loki. It's wild. I'm telling you. Hot Toys, and you're right. Hot Toys does not understand anniversaries. If you've been around them long enough, it's nothing new. You're absolutely right. they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about May the 4th. They don't give a shit about birthdays. They don't give a shit about anniversaries. It's what makes Howard Chan happy. We know that. It's the way it's always been. Hot Toys teased us with the 4th and 5th brother, but no official announcement yet. I would hope that they've abandoned that line. Get away from the Kenobi Disney Plus show. In fact, I would get away from any of the Disney Plus Star Wars schlocky shows and stick to the cinematic universe. There's plenty. Hell, avoid the Disney Plus Star Wars and go down to Legends. Fine. If you want to make more characters, I would rather see them make more characters from the expanded Legends universe than to keep dabbling with the Disney Plus nonsense. I feel it would be more profitable for them to stick to, Attack of the Clones line is hot shit, isn't it? How much are the battle droids going for? Padme is already in chase price. All of that stuff from Attack of the Clones, except for Anakin, Attack of the Clones that's been pushed out. But yeah, even the bark speeders that everybody was bitching about, you can't find those. Those are bark speeder with the sidecar. Can't find that. That's all chase. That's all Attack of the Clones. Hell, stick with the Clone Wars cartoon. At least then, it's a little bit more palatable. It's more cross promotion. It's what's the word? Synergy, right? With the Clone Wars, where you can where if you make a bark speeder from the Clone Wars, at least it can exist in the world of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So, yeah, look, I understand that the Fifth Sisters and Fourth Brothers, I would prefer them just get away from that. I would prefer for them just to stay away from Ahsoka, focus more on the cinematic films, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, and the classic trilogy. There's still plenty of love for the classic trilogy. Who out there wouldn't drool over a 1/6 scale Jabba the Hutt from Return of the Jedi? They would sell. They would absolutely would sell. Howard doesn't listen to logic. He probably, if I ever got to meet Howard Chan, he would probably throw me off of his penthouse suite onto Hong Kong Harbor. He would hate me. I've seen him a couple of times at San Diego Comic-Con. Loki was 100% Local Lou, an easy pass for me. I don't understand. I attribute that to the Artisan effect. It's something new, shiny. It's you chasing the pre-order. I think it's a clever marketing. I think it's very clever having these type of shock drops where you announce it and then under 12 hours, you better get in line, better get your credit cards ready, better get your payments ready, right? Pre-order it. Come on. Oh, you missed out. Sucks to be you. You missed out. Oh, Denobi, you didn't get it? Oh, sorry, Denobi, you didn't get the Oh, I'm special and you're not because I got my Jack Sparrow, Denobi. Oh, I'll tell you about him though. Oh, sorry, Denobi, you didn't get your Jack Sparrow. Oh, we know how you love Disney. Oh, tough luck, huh? Oh my God, the games. Oh, the games. Upcoming D Star Wars Acolyte Skeleton Crew Andor. Who? What? What is this schlock you're peddling here, Clone Trooper? I don't know any of this. I doubt Hot Toys sees these as big money makers. Yeah, like, have they made an Andor Hot Toys figure? Clever writing, good story, but clearly none of the characters were fun enough to play with or display with. I'm assuming Andor 2 is going to be another heaping of that. Skeleton Crew, don't know what that is. That sounds very cartoony. Alkalite is probably the only one that I'm a little bit interested in, believe it or not. I'm curious about it. I don't have Disney Plus. I canceled it early this year. I forgot, December last year. I canceled it. Right when they were going to up their price, I'm like, fuck you, Disney Plus. I don't need you. The kids aren't even watching you, and I'm not watching you. So all we watch is Netflix and YouTube. You know, it's just no. I'm curious about the Acolyte. I really, really am, because it takes place outside of the Skywalker era. I'm just over the whole Skywalker storyline. So I'm curious about it. The Acolyte would be one that I would only need to watch maybe the first or second episode to determine if it's worth my time. And by the second episode, I can tell you. But I didn't even see Andor. I didn't care to see Andor. Skeleton Crew would be an easy pass for me. I'm afraid of what a Hot Toys, Jabba, or Grievous would cost. Well, you're going to get somewhat quality, right? It's not going to be cheap. So, I mean, it's not like the community didn't grab the Sideshow Grievous as a placeholder. What's all that about? I don't believe in placeholder, folks. I don't manage my collection with placeholders, by the way. I don't buy a figure, the placeholder until the real. No. If it doesn't exist, and it doesn't exist, if the definitive character product doesn't exist, then it does not exist in my collection. I don't play the placeholder game. I don't have time for that. I've seen a lot of that. It's just no. What's up, Martin? I'm thinking, well, I'm not into Rudy hair, and the fact that Hot Toys released in budget hair versions makes the Artisan figures an easy pass for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be bullied into the premium top tier figure. If you're happy with the sculpted hair, then go for it. Now, I don't really care for the Luke Skywalker Dark Empire, but if the sculpted hair version of this particular figure ends up as a daily deal, he'll most likely he'll be added in my collection. But I am not chasing the Artisan version of this. I don't care about this character that much to warrant the price point. But the sculpted, remember, there's 2 SKUs. We know the policy. 2 SKUs, the shit sits. So yeah, I would pick up the sculpted version of this as a Sideshow daily deal. Yeah, me too. Hot Toys, Jabba the Hutt. I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. Maybe Disney has a saying what characters are allowed to. Yes, I've always believed in that. That's the only way I can understand the logic as to why they released so many Ahsoka characters, and it was the lowest viewed Disney Plus Star Wars show based off the Nielsen ratings. Nobody saw the show, but yet they released quite a handful, which is the only thing I can think of is they were contractually obligated, or they had the R&D prototypes sitting there. I'm like, we pumped a lot of money into these prototypes. We got to go somewhere with it. So that was an enigma. That was very puzzling, that whole situation. Let's segue. We're going to end it with, so on May the 4th, we were supposed to get the official HasLab announcement. And clues clues have been fed to us. Legitimate clues have been fed to us by Hasbro representatives as to what it would be. And we all knew that it was going to be Star Wars, and then A was going to be Star Wars, and then B, it was going to be the Star Wars Vintage Series Collection. Now, for you folks out there who don't know what Star Wars Vintage Series Collection is, it's the 3 3/4 inch scale, the little figures there, which has been their most popular line, Hasbro's most popular Star Wars line, because the 3 3/4 inch figures, they fit in the vehicles very well, makes a great addition, right? They've had a huge success with the Star Wars Vintage HasLab with the Razor Crest, and they knocked it out of the park with the Ghost, the HasLab Star Wars Vintage Series, the Ghost, which I can't wait to get, which I'll do an unboxing video on that. And because there's no lights in the ship, I'm absolutely going to be adding some lights to it. I'm going to make that ship come alive. And mind you, I'm a big fan of Star Wars Vintage Series ships. I've never even seen Rebels. I can care. I'm not going to populate the ship with the Rebels characters. I don't know who any of them is. So if anything, it might be, I might put Han or Mando or just characters that I'm somewhat familiar with. So, but that'll be fun. But anyway, somebody at Hasbro botched their website and they leaked a screenshot, or the website was up and it teased, and I'm going to give credit here to the Star Wars toy collector who let this image, and he was able to grab some screenshots. And it was the Star Wars, the vintage collection, Mos Eisley Cantina playset. Now, this has not been officially been released or announced by Hasbro. This was somebody at Hasbro Pulse. They were probably updating their website, and they let this out of the cat out of the bag a little bit too soon, and then it was quickly taken down. Play sets don't interest me, just to vehicles and creatures. Now, I've seen this comment before, but yet I've seen people make the exception if it's the play set that they're interested in. And maybe the Cantina set is just not of interest to you. Draw the line. This caught me off guard because I didn't think they were going to do another vintage series ship, just because the Ghost, they were working on the Ghost, and it takes a lot to build this giant, mind you, I mean, the Ghost ship is huge. I got to cover it at San Diego Comic-Con. And just to kind of show you, I mean, this thing, the Ghost, this is the one, it's supposed to be out in a couple months. It's supposed to be out in May this month. So, but yeah, the Ghost ship, it's huge. I covered it, and this was last year, and I think it's impressive in person. Photos and video really don't do it justice. So when the official clues were kind of leaked out that the next HasLab was going to be Star Wars Vintage Series, I just didn't think it was going to be a ship. It just didn't make logical sense. Like, well, you're still working on the Ghost, so why would you do another ship when you're still working on the actual Ghost? But it would have been a welcome surprise if it was. I mean, if it was a ship, right? It you know, I'm a big fan of the vintage series ships. They're just a lot of fun, especially with the amount of paint application that the HasLab puts into them. It's pretty impressive. So I put this in here back up again. I don't know if this is going to get, if it really is the vintage collection Mos Eisley Cantina playset. I'm very skeptical if this will actually get funded. I really am. I really am. I'm very, very I'll probably back a couple of them, but I don't have a lot of confidence in this set. Because make no mistake, the fans actually do want a playset. They just don't want a Cantina playset. I follow the channels. Everybody's been bitching and moaning for the Death Star playset. And I'm with you on that. I thought we were finally going to get the Death Star playset in a vintage series, right? Having that giant sphere, and then you get to turn around and have the multi-levels and the elevator, and just Death Star playset would have been, to me, an easy way to print money. So the problem, and you're right, it's a memorable scene, but I don't think it'll fund. The problem is that the Cantina in the Star Wars universe, the only way I can describe it, it's almost like the courthouse in the world of Back to the Future. It's like the pinnacle junction. It's a point in the Star Wars universe that is over grossly used. It's been used in the movies, what, a couple times, right? Didn't we see the Cantina in The Phantom Menace or in past? I mean, it's a location, it's a locale that is constantly being used. In fact, I read one of the comments when the leak came out that it's one of the pinnacle junction points in the Star Wars expanded universe that gets used a lot. The cantina is like a hub, like the Star Wars hub. Apparently, it's. I mean, it was used in The Mandalorian with the droids, the 99 droids that were serving drinks. It's just it's used a lot in the extended universe. It's been used multiple times in the films, and it's been used a couple times already in the series. So I understand the logic as to why the HasLab team decided to choose the cantinas. And again, this is speculative. We don't even know that they can be canceled. But if they move forward with this, I understand the logic with it. Not to mention too the Cantina Lego set, that expensive one it's highly chased. It's one of their most popular Lego sets. So in the world of Lego Star Wars, the Cantina Lego set is hot shit. So if you're going off the analytics, if you're going off the numbers, it would make sense that they would choose this. Whether or not it will get funded, I don't know. This is, and it looks like it's going to eat up a lot of space. This type of like real estate to have this whole thing set up, it looks huge and it looks like it's going to eat up a lot. So on this one, I would be happy. I'd be okay if it gets funded, and I would be fine if it doesn't get funded. If anything, I would have been more excited to have the Rancor. The Rancor that didn't get funded, I would have probably would wanted the Beast of Burden on that one. The Navarro Cantina was $40. I can't imagine this being $40. Now, Equan, be fair though, because I do have the Navarro Cantina, and I believe I bought it on discount too. It was just not a popular version of it. And it's just like a front facade. So this is more of a movie set. This is a huge set. And we don't know what's going to be included. There's a lot of accessories, meaning cups and tables and so forth. Is it going to have lights and sounds? We just don't know. But no, but I will agree with you though. That's a big pill to swallow. The $400. It's a lot. It really is. And again, the cantina has been used multiple times throughout the different worlds of IPs of Star Wars. I think now that Mando is Disney's cash cow, their executives will interfere and ruin it, just like they interfered with season 3. Well, we stomped our feet so hard, we don't even have a Star Wars cinematic movie in sight. There's nothing. In our collector's hate towards Star Wars, we essentially killed any type of Star Wars film down the line. So this is going to be it. We're going to be dealing with vintage and classic. And I figured that too. I assumed that they were going to, because that's how you keep the price up. You're going to include certain characters that are only going to be available through this set, and that's what's probably going to bring in the value. Yeah. So whether or not, you're right, it's going to be. It is not life size. This is the three. This is the vintage series. This will be 3 3/4 inch scale. So I find it interesting. I really, during the May 4th celebration of Star Wars, I was hoping that the Hasbro team, they were going to announce it so it could be something else additional to talk about. But they did make an announcement that this was pushed out. It was delayed. So whether or not they're getting cold feet over this, maybe they're getting cold feet. Maybe it's not ready, meaning that they may add more. Maybe they had a test group. Maybe they had a certain amount of people, collectors, and they had a test group, and they're like, no. So maybe this isn't, and it's being retooled and to make it better. So again, this is all speculation, but they did make the announcement that it was delayed. So I just think it's odd that they chose the cantina. But as I researched more into the world of Tatooine and Cantina and how odd it's been used so many times and how iconic. Uh, I understand why they went that route. I do. I really, really do. It's just something that's just weird. So hopefully, maybe in the next week or so, we'll get the official announcement because HasLabs are cool. And they're you can the really nice thing about HasLabs is that i- if you ever have regrets on it, if you ever fund one, it's not like you're going to lose any money. Um, they all go for chase price. They're double or triple, uh, all of that stuff because they make a small batch. And if you don't get in at the retail price and you do want it down the road, you're going to end up paying a hell of a lot more. So whatever it is, whatever it is, uh, and their last playset did they made the Bib Fortuna playset from the Book of Boba Fett. Believe that did pretty well, didn't it? Yeah, they've done the Jabba's Palace, didn't they? They did Jabba's Palace. They did the which that one right there. Yeah, yeah, they've done the Jabba's Palace, and then I think what collectors are waiting for is Jabba the Hutt, because you can switch out the dais, the actual platform, instead of having Bib Fortuna on there on the chair. You can pull that out, and you can actually convert this back into Return of the Jedi. So if you don't like the Bib Fortuna setup from Book of Boba Fett, you can actually convert this set into Jabba the Hutt. But that specific Jabba has not been released yet, so it should be uh, this guy right here. So he has not been released yet. So this is the one that's on pre-order right now. So that'll be a fun little set. And again, to have sets like that, they do take up a lot of space. I just love the ships. I mean, you can actually see top left corner, you can see my Razor Crest on there. I love the Razor Crest. It's a fun ship. Not only that though, but the paint application on the Razor Crest was done so well. Just taking it out into the desert, getting some photos on it, just was phenomenally mind-blowing. So I think I am done. It was hopefully I wasn't too much of a downer. I just wanted to heed the warning. Be careful out there, folks. Uh, Hot Toys is absolutely taking a lesson from the playbook of InArts. They keep pumping out InArt pre-order announcements, and they haven't delivered shit to us yet. So, not to mention on top of their amount and delays, it's going to spell certain doom for certain collectors if you're not careful. So, uh, yeah, be careful. Be very careful. I I disagree with you on that because the Ghost HasLab broke 21,000 units, something like that. So yeah, and I know you're being sarcastic with the LOL, but if they make the stuff that people want, they'll be very successful. Yeah, and I'm with you on that, Thrawn. I can't wait for the Ghost to ship. Photos do not do it justice. This thing it's bigger. It's bigger than the Legacy Millennium Falcon. This thing is huge. I have no idea I'm going to display this in my collection. So it's a 23. It was a lot. Yeah, the Ghost was huge. Yeah. So yeah. The one with the third sister was the lightsaber. They shouldn't have called it the third. I don't know why they called it the third sister. They should have just called it the Grand Inquisitor lightsaber. I don't know. They all have the same stupid lightsaber. I don't know why they had to call it that. I think I don't know if they've done a reversion tool local. I don't know. But I don't know if it'd be interested in that though. Yeah, it'd be very, very interested in that. Yeah. I think I'm done. Just be careful out there. I know there's a lot of good stuff out there. And just don't bury yourself, folks. Just be careful when you're pre-ordering stuff out there. That Artisan line is giving off a ton of red flags, as much red flags as InArt. Mind you, though, InArts is up to 16 pre-orders, and they're barely successfully launched 2 figures. But they love making announcements, don't they? So just be careful out there. Yeah.
First time?